All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Comeback Couples Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Jennison, along with my lovely wife,
Kendra Jennison.
We got that shit down.
So good.
Which is going to bring me to the topic. I'm going to jump right into it today. Evolution.
Dope.
And I'm not talking about like from, I think maybe how we evolved as humans. That's not the kind of evolution. I'm talking about evolution in a relationship. Mm-hmm. Evolution as a man, evolution as a woman, evolution as a couple. And before we get into that, there's a very important reason why I want to talk about evolution is because today is February 9th, I believe, right? February 9th, 2023. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday when I was in the shower and you came in and you're like, you need to make some changes. You need to go all in. You need to do some things. Talk a little bit about that.
I did. So you've shared a few times openly, very vulnerably with the internet world that the past 26 months have relatively kicked our butt. Not that we're losing, but it's not that we're winning either. We are just at this stagnant, like, man, just kind of hanging on, and you've been searching and you're searching and you're like, I don't know what the fuck else I can do. You work your butt off. I'm talking from the time you wake up, which is about 4 a.m., till the time you go to bed, which who knows sometimes when that is. You're on the phone, you're dialing, you're calling, you're working every single portion. And I had presented to you the other day, or you were talking to me and you're just like, I just don't know what else to do. Like, I can't, truthfully, I was like, dang, honestly, I don't know if you could work any harder either.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I'll get back to you in a second, but like for the listeners out there, it's not like our level of life is not bad. Right? It's not like we're, not like we're losing. I still make money. I still have like a great life. Business is good. We're changing a lot of people, but it's like, what's worse for me. I'd almost rather go backwards because then at least I can climb up. But like, I say that. So what happens is I'm sliding backwards and facing the stuff in the world and people's fears and just staying in this fucking darkness. I would only get back to a certain spot and we climb up a little bit and then we drop right back and go up and down. And anyway, so it's, I don't want people to think out here like, oh yeah, these guys are, you can think whatever the fuck you want, but like.
Yeah, I think that the type of people that we are talking to, they would understand. Anybody who thinks that when we're speaking of having a 26 months of just kind of being at the same spot, have never built a multi-million-dollar business.
The worst thing for me is being the same, is like fucking having the same amount of money, the same amount of energy, the same amount of sex, the same amount of fucking love.
Especially because you have such that, like we've mentioned, you have that obsessive personality where like you want more, you want better, more. Like, what the heck am I working for so freaking hard if I'm staying the same? Like, that's driving you insane.
Sure.
So we came up, I was talking to you as you were in the shower and I was like, why don't we finally just go all in on presenting those two new verticals that we have talked about for so long? Like, fuck it. What do we have to lose? Nothing. Yeah. I said, you've been wanting to do them for so long. You've been holding yourself back from it because you just wanted all your focus to be right here. I said, fuck it. Like, right now is the time to just go all in and try it.
And I spent a lot of time talking, with Ryan, with Kevin. We've got notes on this board over here, but a lot of stuff. The conversation I had with Garrett on Tuesday just spawned it out. And I think, I've been told you like 2 weeks ago, I'm like, I'm missing something. Like,
you kept telling me, you're like, I know right now it's time where I need to go all in. I can't retract. I think that you were just so close that you couldn't see. And what's so awesome about me being on the outside and being a part, I was like, hey, this is one way how we expand and we're not contracting by any means. Right. So let's just go.
So what I found I was hanging on to, which is why it wasn't fear, right? I'm not afraid to do anything different.
No.
It was perfectionism.
For sure.
Like I just told these guys, I was optimizing this offer, this product, this life, the comeback recovery portion of what I do, right? Mm-hmm. And even so there's that's the product that I deliver. I help businessmen who are struggling with alcohol gain control of their life. I'm the best at it, period. And I was optimizing it and I was changing the renditions of it. Like, I'm an artist who kept painting this picture over and over and over I got caught in my own chaos trying to make this thing perfect, try to help more people, to serve more people, doing things with the marketing, trying different things with the price point.
Well, that all comes back to, where it's at, well, what can I be doing better? Every day you're always like, it needs to be better. How can I do something better? And you kind of sabotage yourself.
I'm going to show you how this story unraveled for me. And like, it's all about stories, right? Mm-hmm. I'm chasing perfectionism to try to build something to be the most elite men's coaching recovery when it comes to addiction recovery for these type of guys in the world. I'd already amassed that, already hit that, right? Just cleaning it up and doing what we're doing now, some new things. Like, had I realized that the amount of pressure I was putting on myself to be able to do that, it was already right here in front of me. And now I already bring in hundreds of thousands of people a year, or millions of people a year that look at my shit, and we have thousands and thousands of people. I got all this fucking thing and it works. But the story goes back even deeper, which is why I brought up evolution, because July 27, 2015 is the day that I decided to stop drinking. Right? I didn't know you at that time, but July 27, 2015, I made a choice and a decision to take my life back, take control back of my life over alcohol, over drugs. Right? I didn't really understand what that meant. That day, I just knew I wasn't going to drink.
And what's really awesome is July 27th, 2015, you were taking your life back from that, and I was starting an entire new chapter in my life because that's the day that I got out of the military.
Yep. We got so many dates that line up. It's pretty neat.
It is kind of freaky when we go through it.
But what I'm saying is, and then I built this. I didn't set out in this thing to build what I built. It kind of was chosen, just like the women are choosing, the people who watch us on TikTok are choosing like your videos or us or what we talk about in the relationship. Other people inside are choosing it. I know that wives of comebacks are choosing it inside there, right? So the marketplace really dictates what the message and whose ear it falls upon. And so when I set out on July 27, 2015, it was just to be a good dad. Give my son, honestly, at that moment, it was for him, but I didn't even know what the fuck I was doing. And I made a decision, and AA didn't work, NA didn't work. I was going to Celebrate Recovery. It was nice, a bunch of people, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. I didn't fit in. I can't talk about the depths of the hell that I've been to and then have a guy talk about some of the easy, in my opinion, easy to him, hard problems he was going through. And I kept building this life and building this life and building this life. And then you go to from 2015 to 2018, right? 2018, I think, is when I launched I Am a Comeback, right? So 3 years of hard work. And the marketplace then dictated who I was. Mm-hmm. So here's where I'm going with this story, right? So my content that I used to put out, I went back and looked at it. I sent you those pictures, right? Bailey didn't even know who I was.
She's like, wait, I thought you were a teenager.
She thought I was a teenager. Yeah, it was funny as hell. But 2015 to 2018, I ran like a trifecta of content every day. I was setting out to build an online sales training business, right? Which I actually did to the tune of, I think 7 figures I made from that one. But the market started saying, you're the alcohol guy.
Sure.
Right? And then I'm like, I am.
You're like, oh yeah, I guess I am.
I guess I am. Right? Yeah. I can actually, so now here I am, it was about a year and a half. It was probably like 2016, end of 16, 17. Started helping people. I was doing sales training, but the reality is I started talking about alcohol, to those people. So it shows who I was. And then I'm like, well, here's what I did. And I put it in a course, and then I fucking walked away from that, and I went on to liberate these souls. So they made a decision of who I am. And then I just kept pressing forward. But if I look back at my life and my story, I'm just trying to optimize July 27, 2015. Mm-hmm. The day that I made a choice, I'm trying to make that choice better instead of failing to realize the choice was already made. And overlooking the shit that I did, overlooking the shit that we did, overlooking the things that we did. And that's what's so interesting about the evolution of a man and evolution of a comeback and evolution of us that I'm going to talk about here in a second. But when I realized that, I've only told like, we briefly talked about, he owed the IRS money. He owed this, he did this. We never fucking talk about the real pains that I overcame. Everybody wants to know, how did you stop alcohol? Yep. Honestly, it's not that fucking hard. I made a choice. I made a decision. My why was much larger. The path, the discipline, my purpose just was ignited and fucking turned into something. Yeah. So then, but when I look at it, I'm like, there's been this frustration. I think this is interesting because I was having to talk with Rhett the other day, and he's like, a lot of founders go through this. Like, they're so on fire when they first do it. But I've been doing this offer 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, going to 23. 6 years of my life every day talking about alcohol, yet I don't drink, don't care about it. And right?
Yeah.
So when I talk about evolution, the next chapter of the story of us, it actually was brought back to you telling me, hey, I think you need to go all in. There's these other things you've done in your life. Like, you've never told the second half of your story. I've dabbled with it. We've dabbled with it. Yep. And people who want to know, right? Like for instance, like all the financial shit that I've been through. I was actually on my phone today, CCAPing myself, looking at all the cases that are closed, and I didn't tally up, but the amount of money and debt. I mean, it didn't even count the IRS on there, but like it was like $1 million. I had $1 million or something like that just on my CCAP, right? So the story of my comeback has not been told.
Right.
And I wanted to use this platform today as an opportunity to, one, thank you, because like, well, you know it. And I want you to share some of the shit. Not about the alcohol, but here's what let me just read to you, right? Some of the stuff that, let me just read this to you guys. Hopefully my phone goes up. I got this new phone. It's actually, I like it pretty good. It's clean. Do you have anything you want to add while I'm looking for this?
No, I think I love where you're going with it. I'm excited to see what you're going to read.
Man, I'm just going to read the stack.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's a stack,
I'm just going to read the part of the stack, right? The past few days have been rough. Actually, the last few months have been. I felt like I'm missing something. I felt like I'm failing. I felt like I don't belong in my own skin or my own company. I've been praying, meditating, stacking, being coached, doing everything that I said I would do, everything that I said is required, but things felt wrong. Accompanied by the slow week and shitty weather, my depression was kicking in fast. My coaching call with Garrett revealed a lot in me Tuesday. There's a lot more to unpack and work through here, but the discovery is this. If I died that day, I'm proud of what I built, but I'm sad that I didn't build and live the life that I want. Yes, I want to move to California. Yes, I want more money. Yes, I want a big house. Yes, I want lots of cars. But what I really want more than anything is to build IAMACOMEBACK into an iconic brand that stands for power, helping liberate men and women and children and give them a power of purpose for the rest of their life. To me, my comeback is way more than just alcohol. See, here's where it started. I was being looked at for murder. I owed millions of dollars to the IRS in Wisconsin, millions in judgments, lost my son taken away from me. I blew up 2 multi-million-dollar businesses. I'm talking multi-million-dollar businesses, divorced, lost my houses, lost my cars, a cheater, lied about everything, just a real giant piece of shit of a human being. Yes, I drank and used drugs, but it was me that did all that. It was also me that came back from all of it. Here's some of the results over the past 8 years. I spent 7 figures on my personal development. I've mastered sales and marketing. I've got remarried and never cheated or lied to my wonderful wife, Kendra. I'm an investor into multiple businesses. I've built an amazing relationship with my son. I'm a father to 2 new daughters. I've helped 12,000 men get sober. I built an app that I just built and got rid of. We've amassed about 200,000 followers on all platforms. I've touched millions of people on social media. And I went to the world and I said, you're not weak. You're not powerless, you're not diseased, and you should pay me. And I've turned that into a $20 million vertical. But we talk about the alcohol, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, there's still more to it. But I might as well. You
can.
I might as well. And like, I'm sure there's way more than that, but that's all I can think of right now. So today I'm in a place where I have to again liberate my own soul. I lived and basked in the darkness now for 8 years. When I made a choice to stop drinking and change my life, that was it. The choice was made, and then I went to work. The world tries to peg me as the alcohol guy, and I've allowed it, but my story needs to be told, and I need to help people with other problems to free my soul. That was my stack this morning.
Which brings us to the evolution, as you were speaking, of IAMACOMEBACK and where we're at right now.
Not even just IAMACOMEBACK, the evolution of us. Yeah. Like the evolution of the conversation I had with Ryan today. I literally told Kevin a little bit ago, he was standing right there where you're at. I said, if I died today, I'm happier than I was 2 days ago, 3 days ago, because at least we've taken a progressive step forward. Mm-hmm. Like I finally said, you know what, fuck it, we're going. Yep. So I wanted to talk about like some of the things that we're offering and some of the things that we're going to do, which is really, really cool, right? I don't want to go too much into my story, but I could go on, and people could ask questions, and feel free to comment or send us messages about how I did some of the things that I did. Because the reality is, what it really boiled down to is I didn't want to take credit for everything I did. I was actually hiding because I didn't want people to know how successful I was.
Massive. Even still,
I don't want my mom asking me for money anymore. I don't want my dad asking me for money. I don't want people asking me for money. So I built this life of just stuck.
Yep.
yet served so many people.
That's what I was going to say. It puts you in a position where you're massively successful, yet you were still hiding behind this curtain, if you will, of mediocrity, which kind of kept you in a...
Which is hard to hear.
It is. It's so hard. And unfortunately, your reality of your past and like you said, just when people would find out, especially with your, like I said, some of the people that you grew up with, it's not a oh my God, that's awesome, congratulations, Mark. It's a hey, fuck you, you owe me money, or you should. It was just, I'd never seen anything like it in my life, and it was actually,
you owe me, I made you, what can I get from you?
Yes, or people that would legitimately just talk so, and I'm not saying you were a saint by any means. We know how bad of a human being you were. There's no, but I truly think that what they couldn't stand most was that you were a terrible human being. You changed everything in your life, and now you're doing so much better. I think a big part of that is people, especially people of like a lower tier of life, you know, sure. They just don't understand it, and they hate to see it. Like, damn, he could do it, but I can't do it.
I think there's something to be said, especially with certain family members inside of me that, like, yeah, I kept outgrowing them, or like somehow I'd always bounce back, right? I would take a hit and I would bounce back. Because my comeback journey, that was just what I've done after, right? Like the fucking actual path to July 27, 2015 was gnarly. Yeah. Right?
We could go into it, but like you said, really.
Bounce back from this pain, but everyone will just, they despise it. They despise me.
Despise it.
So when you talk about evolution, you know, we've got the evolution of the brand, evolution of I'm a Comeback. We also have the evolution of us. So this is going to be a spot where I want to put you on the spot.
Yes.
And talk about like, what do you want to see? We've cascaded the future. We know the vision for where we're going. Like we know we're good together. You told me the other day, you know, you're like, baby, if we lose it all, we can live outside in pots and pans as long as I have you, I'm happy. And I truly believe that you mean that. I won't be happy.
I know you will.
Not because I don't want to live outside, but because I have fucking potential. Yes. Because I am the king of comebacks.
I think what I meant by that is like, even if you decided to risk everything and you go all in because this is just the type of man that you are, and you did everything right and you were disciplined, and for whatever reason it still crumbled, I'd be like I'm good with living in a fucking tree and just having a pot to piss in with you, because that's a commendable man to stand by, and I'd be foolish to not stand by you for trying something so incredible.
I was listening to a podcast this morning, actually, and a guy, I don't remember his name, but he was talking about 2008. He had built a 7-figure online business in 2008, and then something happened where the business went crashing down, but he'd already was trying to figure out this online thing, and his wife, or it was his girlfriend now, but at the time, wife now, girlfriend then, came to him and said, hey, you know what? You've done something pretty cool here. Just try to figure this internet thing out. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go work 4 jobs. Wow. And the dude's like ultra successful now because she believed in him that much.
I love that.
I will never have you work 4 jobs. I will figure out everything we do, but also like provide at all times. So you never have to worry about that. But I wanted to talk, I want to put you on the spot. I want to hear your thoughts on the evolution of not me, not you, not us, but of the brand. Like just paint a picture. Like, where do you see us going? Because Kevin just did this too a couple minutes ago, and I think about it all the time.
Where we started to where we're going, would you like me to start? Or
however you want to explain it, right? You want to talk about where we're at, where we came from, or where we're at to where we're going?
So I'll just speak kind of what comes first to mind, and then you tell me if I'm off or on. So when I'm a Comeback had first started, some people may know that I had no idea what you were doing or what you were building when we first got together. When we first got together is essentially like the first year that you launched I Am a Comeback. And I remember...
Yeah, it was like 8 months into it.
Yep. I remember coming home and you would have like these big airplane headphones on, and like you were sitting outside on your front porch, a computer, and just stacks of books and notebooks everywhere. And I just remember you continuously working. Like, that was it. We lived right by the lake, and you just had like this plastic fold-out chair, fold-out table with a chair and books and your headphones, and that's what you did. And I worked at the dental office at the time. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just be back after work.
I got to tell you, like, I'm envisioning you saying that, envisioning me sitting there, but like, there was pressure on me then to build it, but it was self-induced. But man, I had a lot of fun building that thing.
I have no doubt. And I just remember you being so passionate, even though I had no idea. I didn't even know internet world existed. I know that sounds so silly, but I grew up in a very blue collar, like you go to work, you work with your hands. So the thought that you were making money off the internet never occurred to me. I was like, oh, he's a man. He does things online. I don't know what that means.
Anyway, you thought I was a pussy.
No, I didn't. I didn't think that at all. I just didn't know. I didn't know.
Sure.
And so I don't even think you had, oh no, you did. You had this, I Am a Comeback is all one now. So it's like this.
I had the wrong logo on my shirts.
You had, it was all sporadic. I am a comeback. And I was like, yeah, so he has this thing. I am a comeback, you know? And my mom asked, all my friends asking me questions. Oh, what is this? And I'm like, I don't know. It's some internet thing. And all I know is he works all day long. And they were like, oh, okay. I don't know. Whatever, right? So, and then I remember getting this office. This, I don't know how this must have been
2019.
I was going to say this must have been another year later. You came up to me and you're like, hey, I need you to come downtown and you have to look at this building. So the office that we're in right now, Lake Geneva, is very historic. So all the buildings are very historic and they're kind of old and they are kept that way for the character of the building, you know, don't want to. Anyways, I remember there was like all these walls up and you're like, we're going to tear this wall. I have photos actually. It would be really fun to go through. You're like, I'm going to tear this wall down and this wall down. I'm going to get I Am a Comeback all really big on this wall. And I was like, okay, well, what do we need this office for? And you were just like, your brain was just going crazy. You were explaining and it was so colorful. And you're like, I'm going to have office here and people working here and we're going to have this. And it's so fun to have just listened with an open heart and mind back then because I believed in you fully. You could have told me that you were going to put an airplane in here and I would have been like, okay, cool. Like, I believe you. I don't know how you're going to do it, but cool. And now you have all of that, which is amazing. And then you slowly started presenting now another year later with all these new technologies. And we have such great friends who are so smart when it comes to all these crazy technologies and videos and, I don't know, marketing ideas. And just watching it continuously progress and progress. And I know you think it's been super slow, which is so crazy to me. You move at such a rapid pace that I even know in these last 5 years for you, you're like, oh my God, I should already be where you see yourself in 10 years. You know, like that's just how you think. Nothing can ever be done fast enough for you. But now adding, you know, just doing the whole alcohol thing, like you said, showing gentlemen how to recreate their life from alcohol has been incredible. Traveling everywhere has been incredible. Having me come in and do stage things with you has been incredible. I can honestly say I didn't see that come in. I was like, I'm going to be his number one supporter from backstage. You know, I might take little photos here and there. I was like, I'm just going to let him. I'm so proud. And then you're like, no, you're going to come with me. And I was like, all right, cool. You give me the opportunity. I'm not going to let you down. Like, you just show me what I got to do and I'll do it. And now we're at a new spot, another year or so later, where we're looking at another home to elevate our life. And now we're adding 2 new verticals into I Am a Comeback. I'm literally just blown away by it. I sometimes feel surreal, like that we're even doing it. I don't know. I guess that's the best way I could put it. It just feels so surreal. I can't believe how quickly things have moved and how much they've elevated. I can believe it because it's you, but just really when I sit back and I think about how you literally had a plastic folding chair or a table to everything that you have now and all these people that you help. And
4 years ago.
4 years. I'm just like, 4 years, holy smokes. And I can't even imagine. I mean, I can because it's going to be fantastic. But another 4 years from now, I'm going to be sitting probably in a different chair that's massaging me or something. And I'm going to be like, I did not see this coming.
It's crazy, too, because there's a lot of things. Not crazy. It's just the reality, right? I mean, I don't ever slow down enough to appreciate it. You've asked me that conversation today. What's it look like to build it? Well, to me, it's not enough.
Yep.
Right? It's not enough. I haven't made a deep enough impact I haven't. So when I look at the brand and the evolution of I Am a Comeback, it's an international statement of identity. It's an identity. It's a belief. It's a principle. It's for like when I look at it and I see it and I close my eyes, it's all in the black and it's there and it's magnificent and it fucking stands for so much more than just one man taking control of his life over alcohol.
Yes, that was a question you had asked me too. That's where I was going with that.
And I love the fact that that's what I've done. I will never lose sight of it. Right, I'm always going to be I'm always going to serve that man. It works too well. Like it literally works too well.
It's fantastic.
The program, the lifestyle, the tools, the people that love it, Rich, Dave, all the guys that literally, my Johnny, my brother,
I'm
David
a Comeback
Bloom,
is their identity now.
Like all these people, they love this thing. My little core team over here of you and Ryan and Kevin, I mean, they love it as well too, but we have more things to do. But when I look at I Am a Comeback and an alcohol vertical, I'm like, dude, this thing's solid and ready to it's ready to have some brothers or sisters, right? Okay. So it's ready for the other verticals. And when I talk about evolution, it's interesting for me because inside there's a feeling that I have always had back when I was on the plastic table. I'm not addicted to the money that comes with it.
No way.
I'm addicted to the building.
You've said that forever.
I'm addicted to the journey. I'm addicted to the chaos. I'm addicted to solving the problem. My favorite thing to do is to take an idea and a concept into a reality and monetize it quicker than anybody else. Yep. That's what I'm really good at.
And now you get to teach people how to do that.
Yeah. So I'm going to do it again in multiple verticals. I see, since we're going to talk about evolution and moving past just even the next 4 or 5 years. Because truth is for me, I'm going to be out at some point. I'm going to make an exit, right? I'm just going to be yo, maybe not exit the company, but I'm going to be yo, this was it. I now want to live. I don't want to be on camera. I want to watch my kids. I want to watch my grandkids. I want to surf. I want to roll burritos in my burrito shop, right?
Yep.
So the work the way I live my life is I'm front loading my life to have the life I want in the back half. Because also, I lived as fucked up as my life was, I did some amazing things.
Definitely.
Right? So the first 35 years of my life, as crazy as I was and as gnarly as it was, I had a lot of fun, met a lot of cool people, went to a lot of cool places. But by 50, I want to then live all the way to be 100. So I look at this 15 years, if I can collapse time, for me personally, I can then have only had to really work for 15 years.
Yep.
That's how I think in my mind. I'll still work when I'm done doing things I want, but
I think you will always work, yeah.
So when I look at the evolution of what we're building together here, it's not just about the comeback. It's about strengthening our relationship. It's about showing other people what we do, how we do it. It's the same principles, the same foundation, everything that's out there, but it's being able to talk to other people. I'm super excited to be able to run traffic we were talking about it today, for the comeback couples coaching we're going to do.
Yep.
Teaching you how to do advertising.
I'm very excited to learn how to do all of this.
The hook that I think right now is, or not the hook, but the demographic is a for the comeback couples coaching, the way that I want to do it to start out is wives of businessmen.
Love it.
Right? Who don't quite know what he does or wants to be part of it, but doesn't feel like she's part of it. Mm-hmm. Whose relationship has been robbed by the business.
Yep.
Because she didn't know how to fucking talk to him. So lack of intimacy was there.
They're basically just roommates. He goes to work and
But she still wants it and so does he.
Yep.
Right? And he did all this work. Or on the other side, on the business side of it, I'm a little more general there, but you don't necessarily need to come back from business. You need to understand that you're going to have to continue to come back over and over and over because it's fucking hard. So everybody can associate with being a comeback when it comes into your business. From the guy, I'm going to have a call here at 2:30 with a guy who's trying to start up a new business. Helping that guy make $10,000 a month, and then helping a guy go exit his company for $500 million, which I've already done. It's going to be so exciting to be able to see that wide array of just helping people in comeback business, and I'm just super excited about it. But where do you see me and you going?
In how long of amount of time are we talking?
Well, I always look at it this way. I mean, Bailey is 7, going to be 8, so there's we got 10 years left. I hate to say that, I'm done with my kids at 18. That's not what I mean, right?
No, I
when
know.
she's ready to go to college or whatever she does, then we get that's when we can actually
freedom. I see it that way.
Freedom, right? Yeah. So I look at about 10 years or so. So that puts me at 52 years old.
You're still young.
Where do you see us at 52? You're only 40. You'll be 41.
I'm 31.
You'll be 41.
41. So lucky. So well, let's see. In about 10 years, you're saying then, huh? I see us. Well, I definitely see us traveling a lot. It's more of not a places or it's more of a feeling that I see. Is that even possible? A feeling that I see?
That's your fucking story. So write it.
I guess you're right. You're right. Just complete and utter freedom and fluidity to just pick up and go here and be here and just happiness. And because you and I live such a rigid and disciplined life right now, which I love. We do really awesome things. I think it's going to be really fun to look back when we're living this fluid freedom life and just be like, dang, we're just kind of doing what we want. I don't know. It's more of a feeling I get. It's more of a vibration that I can like send through my body. And I don't know if I can quite put it into words or articulate it as clearly for a picture for people, but
for me personally,
I'm excited. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, for me personally, I'm just excited to be able to just relax.
Relaxing and dancing and
there's people out there that'll say, "Well, you can relax right now while you're doing it now, man." Like, I got a mission that I need
of course
do.
You can do that now, but what we're talking about is not having the business pressures or saving people and helping people, and it's just us. Like we just have to worry about us and our kids forever. And what is that going to feel like? I'm
excited to find out.
I don't know, but so I'm excited.
The reason I asked that first, because I want you to then tell these people what you think what is going to be required of me to be able to move us there. What's the next 10 years of my comeback story look like? How do I have to act? What do you think I'm going to, like, what is it going to take? I just want, give me some guidance. What do you think? You've watched me do this in 4 years. What do I do in the next 10?
Yeah, I don't have, obviously, I'm not a fortune teller, but I definitely see you being a completely different human being. The way you dress, the way you speak, the way you talk. I definitely think it's going to take, which I love who you are now. I'm not saying I want that to change. I just know that the next evolution for both of us is not who's sitting right here. And that's exciting because you can still be true and authentic to who you are while having massive amounts of growth. I think so many people, me, and I'm speaking personally, I was so scared of that because I was like, oh man, that means I have to change everything that I love about myself. No, that couldn't be further from the truth. You still get to be you, and you can be super dope and super kind and loving and adventurous and whoever you are and still be amazingly successful. But yeah, it's going to require different levels of discipline that you're going to have to pull out, and that means you might have to speak a little differently. You have to talk a little differently. You're going to have to put yourself into some uncomfortable situations to push you towards that growth. And yeah, so I don't see backwards heads. I definitely see that when we're free, when you're just 52 and you got your board shorts on and your shirt off and you got a surfboard and a burrito and coffee, and I definitely see that. But I'm excited to see this new rise in you, like kind of like death to the old Mark, which it's happened many times in your life, but now
there's a rebirth always for me.
Yeah, and now I'm just kind of like this exciting new rebirth for both of us is going to be super amazing.
So
I don't know if that answered your question.
No, there's no wrong answer.
Okay, cool.
So, I'm not a fucking teacher. I guess I am a teacher. I teach people things, but I'm not a grader. I don't grade your stories. What it's going to require for me to be able to get where I want to be. So when I talk about like my number is $100 million.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet you have exactly certain numbers in your head that you want to achieve.
I don't want to just hit it. I've already made $100 million in my lifetime, right? Grossed it over it. So that's not what I'm talking about making 100 million in a calendar year.
Yeah.
Right. So that is something I want to do in the next 10 years.
Yep.
And in order for me to, I know this, in order for me to amass that goal and to get to that goal, it's going to require me to create more than just coaching verticals, but ultimately to work on the business, not in the business. So right now I'm working in the business to eventually get on the business. So I see the I Am a Comeback brand like kind of like Nike. We've got running shoes, weightlifting shoes, basketball shoes, baseball shoes, clothing, volleyball shoes, I would imagine, all these different types of things. So for me, what I want to end up building is almost like a master class of self-development, a brand of self-development where we help, relationships with men and women and comeback kids. I can do what I can do to get it off, but then to turn it into something bigger, because not everybody knows how to sell. Not everybody knows how to market. Not everybody has the balls. Not everybody's willing to risk it, run the, like I've been able to put the risk in to be able to build this fucking I'm a Comeback franchise, or I don't know if you would call it franchise, but just a business model where I can plug in with everything that I built, music coaches or fucking cancer coaches or divorce coaches or whatever it looks like, right? Like our creative coaches, like whatever type of, the word comeback doesn't have to mean dark all the time.
That's right.
Yet it deals with dark shit because it's not afraid. Yeah. So it takes on its like fucking persona of like a lion that's out to hunt all the day, but at the same time it's tame because it loves the people around it, and it's willing to hunt whenever it's required to hunt, but at the same time it's willing to nurture and provide love and peace and tranquility to certain people, right? And in order for me to get that, as I explain it, it's going to require me to believe I deserve it. Yep. Because see, there's one thing that was not mentioned in this. I spent so much time working on everything that I failed to realize what I deserve, because even though I'm a Comeback was built to set me free, and you and my kids, and even honestly some of the people around me and my team have got more freedom
than you do,
more peace than I've ever gotten from it, because I didn't believe that I deserved that.
Yep.
And in order to get what I want to build these next 2 verticals, which is going to then turn into another 2 and 5 and 10 and start going forward, is I've got to go back to the core of me and be like, yo, I deserve this. I've done what's required here. Look at these results. Mark, I take no credit for anybody's results. As a matter of fact, inside the program, right? Like people, they're like, I get messages. I don't want to, I know you don't like being thanked for it, but really thank you. Like that's how, and there's other guys out there that are driving Lambos, doing big things, having events. They take credit for even my successes and other people's successes, right? And I'm over here like, oh man, you did it. I just showed you a cool way. Like, and fucking turn the other cheek. Mm-hmm. Not that I want to own it for them, right? But I need to realize what my part in it is.
I agree with that.
Because the evolution of what I want to build will not fucking rise if I cannot allow myself to see it that way.
Yep. I do agree with that.
It's not the skill set. I can take anybody right now that can fill out an application. I can show them how to make fucking 2, 3, 5, $1 million, whatever you need to do. I can help you take an idea to fucking money fast. It's simple. Mm-hmm. I can take somebody who's drunk and I can turn their life around in 3 weeks and give them more power than they've ever fucking realized. I can take a man who's struggling in his relationship and ultimately a woman now too with you, put them together, and we can give you a piece of fucking power that you didn't even know existed inside of the relationship to start.
Yep.
Literally, there's nothing that I can't do, yet at the same time, I wasn't fully grasping my power. Like the size of the sword, we talk about my journey, the size of the sword that I yield. I'm playing with a little fucking pocket knife when I have a samurai sword that's fucking massive. So we talk about evolution, even on this podcast, right? Like, how do we make this better? Like, that's what goes through my mind. I know it goes through your mind too. Like, how do we make every piece of content better? How do we touch and impact lives better? How do I make the community component of the program we have better? How do I better, right?
Yes.
That's evolution to me.
And it is to me as well. I like that.
So, with that being said, we are going to be launching here this week after on this one right now. I don't know when Ryan's going to get this out, but I'm going to do a call to action. We're going to start wrapping these things up. If you're a man or a woman who's looking for couples coaching, then you're going to go ahead and want to click on the link or go to my website, IAMACOMEBACK.com, IAMACOMEBACK.com. Click the link, check out the couples portion, fill out the application. I will personally reach out to you. Kendra and I'll probably do the sales call, most of the talking, but she will be on the call with me as well, and we'll talk and see if we can help you put your marriage on fire and stop taking your wife for granted, and you can look at him with power and passion and purpose and actually want to fucking be attracted to him and touch him again. If you are a man or a woman listening to this who wants to create a business, who wants to get out of the rat race, or you have a business that is failing and you're almost thinking about giving up because it's not so much about the practical and tactical stuff you do as it is about igniting yourself in the soul to understand that what you have in front of you is an opportunity. And if your opportunity is you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a businessman or woman and lead from the front, go to IAMACOMEBACK.com, click on the business, fill out the application, and then I will personally call you on that. With that being said, the greatest gift, the greatest power you possess, the ability to choose. I hope you choose to be great today because we are.
Win the day.
Win the day.